7 ways to distinguish borderline personality disorder from narcissism. Today, we are looking at 7 differences between narcissism and borderline personality disorder. If you need help identifying which of these 2 disorders your partner suffers from, this video can help. But before we get started, please take a quick second and support our content by liking, subscribing, and turning the notification bell on. This helps us create more videos like this for your entertainment. Narcissistic personality disorder and BPD often overlap. Therefore, it may be hard to distinguish between the 2, especially when a person suffers from both conditions. Narcissistic personality disorder can be spotted easily when people have high ego levels and feel entitled to do whatever they want, even if it is at the expense of crossing boundaries or making you feel humiliated. Narcissists often resort to rage and manipulation tactics to get their way. Borderline personality disorder is a little different than this. While a narcissist aims to make you feel addicted to them, the average borderline personality disorder sufferer will experience an intense fear of abandonment and act impulsively to prevent being left behind. Both disorders stem from similar insecurities, so they can coexist in the human mind. However, it is also essential to distinguish one condition from another. Once you know what disorder someone is dealing with, you can take proper action to help them and yourself recover. This is why we will review the main differences between borderline personality disorder and narcissism. Stick with us until the end to know whether you are with a narcissistic woman or someone with borderline personality disorder. Let's get started. Number 1. If they display selfish behavior, they are a narcissist. Narcissists have behavioral patterns that often stem from selfishness and insecurity. While insecurity is predominant in both borderline and narcissistic personality disorders, narcissists tend to act more selfishly when they get insecure. Suppose your current or ex-partner is a female narcissist. In that case, their selfishness can initially manifest itself as needing more attention or expecting gifts and acts of service from you. Under healthy and ordinary circumstances, all these things are usually encouraged. However, things take an unhealthy turn when the natural needs in a relationship start coming off as demands that you need to fulfill to keep the relationship going. You may be dealing with a narcissistic female partner, if that sounds familiar. Number 2. If they display impulsive behavior, they may have borderline personality disorder. Due to impulsive behavior, borderline personality disorder often sets itself apart from other mental health concerns. This impulsive behavior is often associated with a deeply rooted fear that the sufferer will be abandoned. When a borderline personality patient is overtaken by this fear, they may start acting recklessly with their safety and yours. Because, in their mind, you will change your mind about leaving them if you care about their well-being. Though, it is important to note that high-functioning borderline personality disorder can be tamed to an extent by reassurance and affirmation. Therapy is necessary in both cases. So, if the shoe fits, and your partner seemingly suffers from borderline personality disorder, it might be best to take action towards betterment. You can choose to work on your relationship, or begin again with someone else. But in any case, the situation needs to be addressed. Number 3. If they require validation, they may be a narcissist. Everyone loves to have an occasional pat on the back or hear their social circle believes in them when they are down in the dumps. But on a narcissistic scale, the need for validation looks a lot more different than the average person's desire for words of affirmation. Narcissists see themselves on top of the world, and their ego is often unmatched. When dealing with a female narcissist, her desire for validation will go far beyond needing to hear she looks good in that dress or that her new haircut suits her better. Regular compliments and flirtations will simply not meet the needs of a narcissist. So, she will start to gaslight you into believing that you do not treat her right. After regular exposure to this treatment, you may even begin to believe it yourself. At that point, it'll be up to you to decide whether you believe the words of someone who refuses to accept you and acknowledge your efforts. You can choose to communicate with your partner, but if she refuses to hear you out, things will not improve. If this sounds familiar, you are unfortunately bound to a narcissistic partner and should seek help immediately. Number 4. If they have serious depressive and anxious episodes, they may have BPD. BPD, or borderline personality disorder, often causes patients to have heavy-set mental problems such as depression and anxiety. During such episodes, your partner might not know what to do with themselves and lean heavily towards risking their well-being. BPD sufferers tend to not value themselves when the voices in their head are louder than the voice of reason. And while it is not up to you to play heroic roles, it is also vital to ensure that no one is harmed. In other words, if you suspect your partner may have BPD, you should approach the situation gently to avoid potential harm and unfortunate outcomes. All within your boundaries, of course. Number 5. If they lack empathy, they may be a narcissist. Narcissists have no sense of empathy due to an increased amount of ego. Therefore, common pointer signs of a narcissist often include being unable to walk a mile in someone else's shoes. A healthy partner may also occasionally be unable to understand what you are going through. Still, they will try to hear you out even when this is the case. However, narcissistic relationships are the opposite. In fact, the lack of empathy in a narcissist can also be paired with gaslighting, leading you to feel worse. Number 6. If they experience a change of self-image or behavior a lot, they may have BPD. Borderline personality disorder can severely and regularly impact a person's self-image and behavioral patterns negatively. These constant changes are what characterize a patient's cluster B disorder as borderline. Therefore, borderline personality disorder patients will never feel satisfied with how they look, act, or behave. In fact, they will also change their mind about how they feel towards other people. Consequently, exposure to a borderline personality disorder patient can feel like being with a different and unpredictable individual daily. Such fluctuating behaviors may often lead to fallouts or tumultuous relationships between the patient and their social circle. The borderline personality disorder sufferer can disassociate from everyone when these fluctuations get too much. Other signs of this can include emotional numbness or even significant memory loss. Such symptoms may further push a patient into violent episodes or make them go numb. To protect both sides, you may want to regularly monitor your partner's mental health. Observing their behavior without making it obvious will make it easier to take control of emotional tumults. But in some cases, a patient might come off curiously angry and refuse to hear you out during intense episodes of BPD. If that seems likely to happen with someone you know, you may want to investigate how the situation could be approached. Number 7. If they are preoccupied with fantasies of their ideal self, they are a narcissist. A relationship takes effort from both parties, regardless of whether it is romantic. Therefore, a relationship will only work out for the amount of time that both partners are being intentional towards each other. However, a narcissist who's gone too far can focus on fantasies of their ideal self. This could be anything ranging from dreams of power and wealth to what they believe is perfect for their love life. Your partner might start to hyper-focus on these notions to the extent of them not being goals but hallucinations that impact their day-to-day living. At this point, you can near confidently identify a partner as a narcissist. But take note that these pointer signs are not diagnoses. We cannot classify people as narcissists just because they fantasize about certain things. Though, if you have doubts about whether you are being exposed to a narcissist, it is best to seek out a professional. NPD and BPD share common traits of insecurity, hypersensitivity, and defensiveness. And for a quarter of patients, these traits coexist in their minds. While both conditions can be treated with the help of a professional, it is essential to ensure that the patient complies with your efforts. It is also important to seek help while a partner or family member goes through these sessions. That marks the end of our video on identifying whether your partner is a narcissist or suffers from borderline personality disorder. If you enjoyed watching this, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Want to be the first to know when we have a new video? Then turn on that bell to be notified every time we upload one. We'll see you in our next video.